Yesterday, I talked about the importance, how to use the large brush with the smaller brush in the whole watercolor painting process. And today I'm going to talk about how to use a large brush and focus on the large shapes at the beginning of the painting process on the landscape painting. This reference is provided by our member. Let's talk about composition. I take the light color, get ready to put a little mark. And this is the house at the front. This house, I'm going to make it to be the focal point. And I'm going to have it a little bit higher, right over here, right? I'm going to put that in this location, maybe not too big, because I do want to include enough trees on this side. So there is a dark color trees in the back over here with the little middle tone colors mountain right over here. So maybe the top over here, I don't really need that much. So I gain a little bit more space for the black shape. So, okay, after you have that idea and pray the idea in your head and don't rush, okay, make sure you like this and get your feeling, be part of this decision process. Okay. You can change the shape of the house if you want to, but you need to think a little bit, not carefully, but think a little bit more sincerely in this process, because whatever you decide, it would be carry on onto the following steps. So this is the main house, the main objects. And maybe keep a little shape on this side too, like that. Because it's really light, it's not really matter much. And later, it will become really light. And when you have more and more darker colors, and this may not be visible. So let's take a look at the big shape. Now take a look at this dark green color tree. I know it's at the beginning it seems like a little scary to use the paint without graphite pencil drawing. It's just a little fear playing in your head. It actually is just not that big of a deal. And as soon as you do it a couple of times, and you feel kind of like you are totally free from all those fear that you have in the past many years. Okay. And I'm thinking, and I have that shape and have it coming like this way, not coming up over there. Okay, keep going on here, a few tree here, but we can now, from here on, we can see the other height, and then there is the continue of the dark color tree over here. We'll try to separate it in layers in the landscape scene. Okay, now on the back, I'm going to get a little light blue color and take a look. Let me see. So we leave a little bit more distance from here. Try to not make it so even, okay, get so parallel together with these two different color mountains. I'm going to make this a little bit higher, like that, and coming over here and disappear. And the sky, let's make a little and have a little bit blue color, see through the sky right over here, and that's it. And I don't need to do the thing on the top. Now take a look at one more time. If this is really what you want, it's very important that you make decisions on each step. And at this step, you don't have to look very deeply into their details, the little tone, or those things. So that free your mind from the detail. So very easy to make these decisions now, but don't move on until you really like this composition. And I'm gonna see. And over here, the mountain over here can divide into uh, this. There will be darker shape over here within that mountain. Um, I think this is pretty good. And on the chimney over here, I'm going to move the chimney a little bit more to the right hand side, not touching to the end of this triangle. And I think it's okay. Let's start working on the big shape. Now I'm using this 1-inch brush. I have my tools and materials that I use regularly for my video demonstrations. On the homepage of the enjoyingart.com, just take a look at the top over here. There's a logo, right? Enjoyingart. Put a .com after enjoyingart.com. You go to the homepage. At the lower part of the homepage, you will see a link is labeled as tools and materials, and click over there. You will see all the materials that I use regularly, and click on those material. Each of the material link would bring you to a website explain their details. So if you have other questions, please let me know. Let's work on the big shape. Like say, I'm going to start from the bottom here. I'm gonna take this color, I'm gonna mix it with this. I need more yellow color. Here you go. Like this. It's okay. It may not dark enough. We probably would go over one more time. So have this color on here first. I'm gonna see how it look. And behind here, also see a little light green color, light yellow green color up over there. Looking for the big composition, how this color and work together. I'm gonna have a little red color, the front over here. I have a little bit brown color, like that. And we can always come to change it in the later step, as I can. Okay, so this is the preliminary color for the foreground. Now I'm going to come into the middle ground. The midground, you can say green color, but it's not going to help you unless you look into what's the combination between these three primary colors, like say red, blue, and yellow, and a little bit more red, and have some yellow color. I'm going to take a yellow color from the side over here and just put it on first to see how it looks. This is like a dark gray color. We need a little more red, a little more blue, and some yellow color. Now, a little more yellow and blue. Here you go. Now this color, a little bit darker. Be careful at the house, the main objects. Let's take a look at the shapes. This is the shape for this darker trees, darker mountain. And working with the large brush is not scary at all. So you just need to pay attention and take a look. Good. take a look at where it started and whether or not you need to leave some lighter shape at the front, and that's good. And then we're going to add the color, make it a little richer. And here I'm going to leave a little lighter shape for a couple tree at the front over here, and coming down here like that. Think about the shape. I don't want the tree over here the same height as the top of the house, and let's put the color on top of the house first, like that. Leave the light shape and like this. So the top of the roof can leave it something like this, but this can be also a little bit lower. Okay, that's good. So this is the shape for the dark well, the mountain a little bit closer, so it should look a little bit darker. So let's make regularly. Most artists, including myself, and like to paint from the background, like it would be from the sky and coming through the front. And today I reverse it. I'm gonna have it a little bit from like the front and going to the background. And you're gonna see you don't need to be afraid of try something different every time. I'm gonna take it to the yellow color by I'm gonna mix it a little bit darker. Lower the red. The red color basically make the any green colors to be a little more neutral instead of bright green colors. Take it like that. And now I'm going to have the color even darker on top of this. And now I divide this maybe a little bit red because it looks very, very bright green color, and have some layers. Okay, like this. And also on top of the house, the reason that making the shape right on top of the house look darker, and you make the house pop a little more. So that's the contrast, the very contrast. Like that. And over here, this can be a little bit darker. Just be relaxing, so don't feeling that anything scary. Nothing can be scary. It's just painting. And now this shape's pretty dark. I'm still using this 1-inch brush, and I'm going to remove some water in the brush first, and now I'm going to mix a little bit yellow color with the red color. What I want to do, I'm going to tap and introduce a little bit like a little orange color in here while still wet, and I have some variety of color, but make sure this color's not having too much water in it, so you can see some detail, and you just see introduce some brighter color. So I'm gonna add a little color over here while still wet. It's very important. So you can see on this side remain to be a little darker tone, like a shadow side. Okay, keep a little interesting shape. Okay, like that. And I can also have a little bit more yellow and red to become a bit of orange again. I'm gonna tap it over here too. Some changes showing the current season. Okay, now that looks good. On the back over here is not totally ready because I want this shapes a little bit isolated. I mean, not having too much blurring and soft edges. So I'm gonna let that dry first and then come back later. And all as well as is the shape, the tree in the front over here. I will do that a little bit later, right? Now what I want to do, I'm gonna come back to the front over here. Take a look. This color can be a little bit warmer. I'm gonna take this color like this. I have some dry brush and coming through like this and keep some interesting texture. Take a look. Like that. And actually I want to have this connecting more into the front. So I'm gonna maybe at the front over here could introduce some texture. Use the toothbrush and I'm going to mix a little bit brown color like this, the red, and bring in a little bit, but I don't want to have too dark. This is good. You might want to have some paper towel to cover yourself so it's not sprayed on you. Okay. Have some detail, maybe a little bit more red. Okay, you can change the color. That's nice texture. That's good. All right, now what I want to do, I'm going to still waiting for the back, this shape to be dried, and before I going back to it. But the softness in the shape really good. Now I want to use this number 12 round brush. What I want to do now, this colors is like 60-70% dry already. So I'm gonna come into to set the little colors for the tree in the midground. Take a look. Showing. I need more color. Okay. Like this. I'm gonna make it a little bit more as like the season of fall. That's good. This type of painting also called house portrait painting. That you are painting someone's house with stories. And the front over here, I'm gonna just keep it a little smaller, this tree. Like that. I'll do the branches later. And then come to this side. And there's some shape over here. Like this. There you go. Maybe this one, a little bit more red. Like that. And change it back to a little bit darker color. Like that. And that's fine. Now I'm gonna be just put the color for the tree in the little distance like that. So that would be good. And now I come back over here to have a little bit darker shape of that, maybe like this, something in the shadow of this tree. Okay. If you want to have the feeling of the three-dimensional, you do need to have the light and shadow. And maybe change the color a little bit on this one. So it doesn't need to be all the same coming through. Like that. And the back over here. That's good. Now coming here, maybe a little bit red. Okay, here we go. Like that. It looks good. More like the neighborhood that you still live in. Okay, that's good. Now, we'll come back to do more later. That's good. The house, I'm going to leave it a little bit later and come back. Okay. Okay, at the front over here, and also can have a little bit shape at the front. Okay, now the back over here already dried. Now I come back to taking care of the big shapes of the a little blue color mountain. Okay, and I'm going to clear this area. It's not a pure blue color. I'm going to take the Prussian blue and take a look. Mix a little bit with the gray color that already mixed from the three primary colors. Okay, now what I want to do, think about the shape like this. This shape can be a little bit higher, like that. So make some interesting interaction on the shape between these two mountains. I'm going to come up over here. Here you go. Think about the bigger shape and then come up again. And down and then coming through. Okay, this color can be a little bit like a brownish color right over here. That's good. I'm gonna have a little bit red for the light side, which is facing to the sun. And have this color over here too, on this side. Okay, a little bit on this side. You see the light and shadow have different temperature. This. Now, this is for now. It looks good. Now looking at the sky. For the sky, I'm going to have a little bit more pure, a little brighter blue colors. So I'm going to do a little cleanup over here. I'm going to take this portion to have when you are doing a painting, try to be a little bit more spontaneous. You don't have to plan everything except the big direction. So what I want to do, I'm going to take the Prussian blue, just like that. And maybe a little bit over here. That's it. Okay. Soften a little bit the edge over here. Make it feel like some clouds effect. A little bit soft blow over. That's good. Okay, that's good. And I come back to use the it's not ready over here yet. Think about the timing. Is just give it a little more time, let it dry. The other shape I would actually gonna merge it into inside the shape over here after. At this timing, I think I can get a little bit more texture for this dark color mountain. So I'm gonna mix the dark color again. This is pretty dark. Red and the blue colors, make it dark purple colors. I'm gonna give it a little bit suggestion. Decided to come back to the bigger brush like this. I think not a very good idea to merge totally right now. Now come back over here to remix the color again. And just tap to looking for the shape. Paintings are all about mark making. And you can come back to refine your mark, add more mark, or if the mark doesn't work, remove the mark. So we organize it. This large brush is very good for organization. Get that shape connected now. That's good. I have a little bit more stronger definitions. For that, I can fix that after, so no concern. Now I'm gonna come back to the front over here. I think the color may be a little bit too light, so I'm gonna see a little yellow color with this a little red. And then here can be a little bit darker on this side. That's good. Now with the time, I'm gonna start working into the main objects. Now I'm gonna use this calligraphy brush, and very easy to control. Now I'm gonna just take a look at the root. Start from the root, the roof. Maybe this color, right on this side. Lift the chimney. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, that's good. And a little shape on the dormer. Couple skylight. Okay. To see. Down here has a door. This. And at the bottom have little small bushes. And think about how dark the color before you think about what color is it. You can change the color if you want, but the dark and light color is very important in the composition. On the other side, maybe a little warmer. Like that. And now I'm going to add the trunk, the branches. Maybe that's good. And then coming over here, and on this one, this doesn't look like the maple tree, but could be other tree also have red color. Very good. Regularly at the bottom of the tree always have some cast shadow, and also have some leaves already falling off at the bottom over here. Have some a few lines, and now I'm going to come into the middle over here to have some green tree. So always find something to do while you're waiting for other areas to dry. And let's see. I'm going to have this start from the lighter color from the top. This color may be a little bit too bright, so I'm going to mix a little red color into it. That's simple. And make sure the value of this color is not matching to the color next to it, and otherwise it will just mush together. And mostly the people, the audience looking at your paintings senses the value before it senses the color. But that's fine. So I'm gonna wait until a little bit dry before I come back over here. But in the tree over here, I'm gonna loosen the color over here, like that. Maybe have a few. Let's see. Now I come back to this mountain. I come back to the 1-inch flat brush. Now I'm gonna looking at the shadow side. The shadow side a little bit cooler, a little bit more blue. So this is good. And let's see. I'm gonna start over here. Maybe a little bit too much contrast. Let's see. Yeah, looking for. Okay, another shape coming down over here. Leave the light shape. There you go. Yeah. Coming over here have some shadow side. Okay. I can see divided into two different type of shapes. One is this light, one is shadow. And I'm gonna lose some of the color. It's just coming over here to blend that over. There's a little shade. That. And also a little. That's good. Look, analyze, and get your own interpretation. And then make it into your own painting. And that may be a little bit too much over here, so I'm going to soften that a little bit. Squint your eyes so you can see how they're related. I'm going to soften it because that shape looked a little bit too parallel on both sides. And here I'm going to lift up a little bit like that. Lift up a little bit. That's good. Lift up a little bit over here. Here you go. Soften that a little bit. You don't want all the edges look the same. Some edges look a little bit harder, some edges a little bit softer. And over here on this side, coming down a little bit, and maybe remove a little bit, shrink that shape a little bit, like that. I think this looks interesting. Now I'm going to come back over here after totally dried. I'm going to have that shape a little bit clear. Now I'm going to have a little bit orange color, like that. Filled in the color over here. Okay, that make a little bit closer to us. Okay, now the mountain over there, it look a little bit more interesting now, because it's the shape is not flat, and now I have three-dimensional. Now I'm gonna come in over here to give it a little bit smaller. Smaller changes. Like that. Understand the shape, analyze it, and turn it into. Okay, now I'm gonna come back to the focal point, the house. Maybe work in these trees first. That's easy. Mix the blue with some yellow with some red. That's good. Now I'm gonna come in here. Look at the shadow side. This. I'm gonna have this all the way coming closer after I have a similar shape behind those three. Some variety. And over here on the other side, I'm gonna have a little bit warmer color, like a brownish color, like maybe over here. But they're too close to that color. Instead, I'm gonna have change that a little bit like this. That's fine. Okay, I come back to the house and waiting for that to dry, and we can finishing up after. Let's see. The front, the roof can be a little bit warmer, a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna pick this color. Let's see. Maybe a little lighter. Just add a little water to it. Looking for the light shape around. And don't kill the white shape. That's good. That's the roof at the front. And also I can give it a little bit suggestions over there, and maybe a little darker color for the windows over here. Like that. And the door can be a little bit darker, like that. That's good. And come into the front and have a little shape over here, like the cast shadow. And coming to the other side, I'm gonna suggest a little roof on this side. Like that, a little shape. Across the white shape, and the people can get it. And maybe on the other side of the roof on this house, on this portion of the house, I'm gonna make it a little bit more cooler. Because I'm gonna make it suggested, and this is the shadow area, and including and the top over here, a little bit cool. That's fine. And on the wall, it's affected by the environment, so I'm gonna have a little bit lighter this color right over here. That's fine, like that. And I'm gonna come back to do a little more after. Okay, I'm gonna have a little line at the front over here. I'm gonna have make a little texture like that. That's good. Make the underneath the trees can be somewhere a little bit darker, somewhere a little bit lighter, like that. That's good enough. Okay, now this drive already. Now I come back to finishing up the mountain. I'm gonna come back here to use the large flat brush. Take the yellow color and get the present blue, but it's too bright. I'm gonna get a little red color in here. That's good. A little bit more red, a little bit warmer, like that. Here we go. All we do is to provide some good suggestions to connect with the story. But you don't have to overdo the suggestions, but not enough suggestions could be confusing. I mean, you open up to give too much open interpretation maybe are sometimes good in some in some paintings. And sometimes you do need to give a little bit more for the to getting people's attention. Okay, now I'm gonna give a little bit better edges. A little bit over here. Now I'm gonna connect that with a little bit warm brown color. That's good. Get a little bit yellow color. Maybe mid color mix well. That's good. Have that color connected. I think that's pretty good. And come back here again. I'm gonna reshape this color in the background. A little bit darker. Here we go. This also you can call reorganizing. And now also come to reorganize the roof right over here. And the chimney. And the background here. A little bit overlapping, showing that the tree in the background and the tree in the midground a little bit different. And also add a little bit more shadow into this tree, like that. Okay, at the front over here, I do want to have a little bit texture, like that. Be a little spontaneous. Okay. Some interesting feeling, like that. Sometimes something working, something's not working, and you have to make adjustment. Okay, that's good. Maybe a little bit too much over here. Let go of some of this. Okay, I'm gonna come back to the house, to the main objects. I'm gonna come back here to add a little darker color, create a little bit more sharp, a little bit more contrast, like this window. Okay, and the window over here. Okay. And the front, I maybe have a little wood color feeling. Give it a little bit of like this. Okay, I think the house is pretty good. Now what I want to do is add some suggestions for a tree, but this tree is a little bit less leaf, but it's more like the branches coming up here like this. And so I have a little contrast to the tree. Most of the tree have a lot of leaves and not seeing much the branches. So and now adds just a little orange color to it, a little brighter orange, a bit yellow. Okay. Like that. Give a little interesting. Also separate or cover a little bit of the open space of the wall over here and the bottom over here. Of course, have some of the color, but otherwise, where the leaf go, where the leaf gone, the leaf on the ground. Okay, I think pretty interesting now. And the foreground over here, I'm going to do the final adjustment. I want to have a little brighter colors, so of course the brighter colors would be yellow. Okay, clean my brush, so make sure it's clean. Gonna get a little yellow color. Gonna directly apply it to the ground.